Let's turn to Russia's war on Ukraine now, which has entered its third month. The United States has announced another boost to funding to help Ukraine buy more weapons to fight the invasion. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin visited Kyiv on Sunday. They pledged $700 million to other nations in Central and Eastern Europe as well to restock their weapons supplies. Meanwhile, people in Ukraine marked a somber Orthodox Easter Sunday. President Volodymyr Zelensky used the religious holiday to urge people to turn their rage against Russia into a force to fight evil.
Germany is witnessing a political fallout of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The German government that is tangled up on the issue over the disinterest to send weapons to Ukraine. In a move to accomplish this task, the CDU leader, Friedrich Merz, is gearing up to move to the parliament. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has been facing heavy criticism for his repeated delay in sending heavy weapons such as tanks to Ukraine. This move could cause trouble for the government after opposition said that it would force a parliamentary vote on the matter.
Emmanuel Macron gambled that a short but intense election campaign would be enough. It was. His comfortable margin of victory over Marine Le Pen gives him a second term at the Élysée Palace. Only two presidents before him have managed that. In his victory speech, Macron promised that his next five-year term would be different. Marine Le Pen gave the far right their highest share of the vote in a French election. But her path to the presidency was blocked again by a Republican front. In other words, many voters who'd supported other candidates in the first round voted this time to keep Le Pen out.
Japan says the bodies of 10 people have been recovered after their sightseeing boat sank off the northern island of Hokkaido. The search continues for the other passengers. A total of 26 were on board. The authorities lost contact with the Kazu-1 on Saturday after the crew reported it had begun sinking.
This boat sank on Saturday afternoon, so it's now a good full day since it went into the sea. And the sea in that particular area of Japan, it's off the northern coast of Hokkaido, as you mentioned there, is very, very cold, just above freezing at this time of year. So the chances of finding those people alive are very, very slim.
At least 168 people have been killed in clashes between rival groups in the Darfur region of Sudan. The UN has condemned the violence in the Krink region of West Darfur and called for an investigation. The latest fighting began on Friday. During the violence, homes were set on fire, hospitals attacked and goods looted. Almost 100 more people have been wounded. Non-governmental organisations said an individual dispute sparked the fighting between Arab nomads and members of the Masalit minority in Krink. There have been some reports that the Sudanese authorities deployed a notorious militia called the Rapid Support Forces, which was formerly known as the Janjaweed.
Let me go across to a piece of breaking news coming in, and we keep up with these visuals of a building that has collapsed in the Satya Niketan area in New Delhi. First visuals of the building collapse in the area on your screens. Multiple people are fear-trapped, and this is the Satya Niketan area in the national capital. Now, this is essentially part of South Delhi and very, very close to the south campus of the Delhi University as well.
Twitter has kicked off negotiations with Elon Musk over the Tesla CEO's $43 billion offer to acquire the social networking site. That's according to sources familiar with the matter, who say the negotiations signal that Twitter is now considering the possibility of selling the company to Musk on more attractive terms. Twitter had previously adopted a so-called poison pill to defend against the billionaire's effort to buy the company. Musk threatened to launch a tender offer in response to get support for his bid from Twitter shareholders. Sources say Twitter's board grew concerned that many shareholders could back Musk unless it sought to negotiate a deal. Musk has insisted that Twitter needs to be taken private in order to grow and become a genuine platform for free speech.
A stunt that began as an idea 10 years ago and took a year to pull off.
Coming down.
Brake coming down. In 3, 2, 1. Brake.
2 pilots, 2 planes, and a madcap scheme to swap them mid-air.
Diving.
The planes took off from remote desert in Arizona, taking 45 minutes to reach 12,000 feet. At that point, power was cut and specially designed air brakes were meant to put the single-engine Cessnas into a 90-degree dive, a modified autopilot keeping them on track and slow enough for skydiving pilots to catch up. The 2 pilots, cousins Luke Akins and Andy Farrington, were then to jump out of their planes and cross over to the other. Luke made it to his. For Andy, though,
Blue plane is out of control.
As Luke jumped in and restarted his plane, Andy was forced to parachute 12,000 feet to the ground.
You safe, Andy? You safe? Yep, I'm all good.